I will defeat them more than authority. Because I am the voice of the Liberian people and the Liberian people love me.
African soldiers who fought for freedom. Some are dead and some are living. Those that are dead are still fighting on. Those that are living are still fighting. Chaka Zulu, African soldier.
You have to get to dance like there is no one watching. Love like you will never be hurt. Sing that there is nobody listening. And live like it is heaven on earth. And the biggest challenge in life is being yourself in a world trying to make you like someone else. Most of the time you listen to people, they say the worst about you. They misjudge you. Sometimes you are misconstrued. And some of the things you do, they don't muster the courage. So maybe come your way to ask you what is going on, what is actually wrong. But again, that's a word. And sometimes you need not to be deterred, not be carried away by what they say. That's just another aspect of life. And you must move with it. That's the beauty. But it's great to be here this morning, folks, wheresoever you are, whatever you're doing. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Liberia on 104.1. Indeed, is the voice of Liberia. And this is where we converge in the morning hours to talk the talk in the best interest of Liberia, because we feel that the best way Liberia can move forward is by speaking to ills in society, things that are of essence to the growth and development of our country, that those who are in authority are not taking it seriously. We remind them of their various responsibilities as public officials, and those of you in the private sectors, or whenever you go wrong, it is our responsibility to make you behave in the right interest. But it's great to be here this morning, folks. Those of you just to join us via our live, we'd like to say good morning and welcome. 80 minutes up to 8. Yes, indeed. My name is April Parker. It's great to be here. Let me just give you the rundown of the things we will be doing here this morning. We will speak with our Grand Bassa County correspondent to bring us up to speed. There's this development, this drug law was amended through the help of the House of Representatives and the Liberian Senate. And that law has been amended. Too many good things into it. But again, They waiting on the president to sign. Until you can sign, we will still battle the issue of people traded in drugs in our country. So, our Grant Bassa County correspondent to Sick People In will bring us up to speed. I'm told that uh, a, a drug, like say marijuana, worth over 25,000 United States, that's 23K, yeah, 23,000 United States dollars, was arrested on yesterday in the Grand Bassa. He will bring us up to speed as it relates to that discussion this morning. And on the flip side, we'll kick it over. You know, those of you who've been following this case, there is a release so far from Maritime linking our Liberian officials who have gone to South Korea for the IMO meeting. And indeed, they were accused of rape. Yes, indeed. Oh, what is happening? Yeah, I think I had this document here. Yeah, so I'm told that case will commence this morning in South Korea. Okay, so we will highlight the release this morning. And those of you who wanting to know the condition of Finance Minister Samuel Tor, we'll talk about it this morning. And we'll end it up to the JFK, the John F. Kennedy Hospital. The John F. Kennedy Hospital being one of Liberia's referral hospitals, and in fact is the country's premier as it stands. But that there are too many things unfolding at the JFK: lack of system, and there are people within the system who are just doing their own thing. They don't care, and as a result of that, there are too many people who are veterans of stealing, insincerity, and the rest of it. So this morning we end up with our discussion at 8:45 this morning. Or is set to play host to Grand Jita County District 1 representative. Representative Guan will be here this morning to talk more about some of the unfoldings in his district and at the national legislature since his election in 2021 during the special by-election in Grand Jita District 1. He will be here this morning to tell us more about his workings. Representative uh, Guan will be here this morning. Malizin Guan, Aaron Malizin Guan will be here this morning to talk more about his activities at the national legislature and back home representing the people of Grand Jita District 1. But those of you who've been following the World Cup, yeah, it has been very interesting. Yes, indeed. Those of you who've been following. So last night, uh, Iran went against the United States of America, and the United States of America defeated Iran a goal to zero. Yeah, congratulations to the United States. The United States is up in the round up 16 in the ongoing World Cup, and I'm told the 3rd of December, the Big 16 in the World Cup will commence up to the 4th, going up to the 9th, where we see the quarterfinals coming up. But Senegal, as it stands, is the first African country to book her space in the round of 16 in the Big 16 of the ongoing Qatar 2022. Yes, indeed, the World Cup. So the Netherlands qualify sits on Group A with 7 points. Senegal Group B with 6 points. Ecuador and Qatar didn't make it to the B16. So Qatar did not even win a game in the in the World Cup. But it's good to be here, folks. And let's acknowledge those of you following this morning. We can do that for you this morning. Those of you just following, all you need to do share the live. The best thing that can happen on radio is on. But let's go over to our Grand Bassa County correspondent. When we return, we'll talk more about some of the unfoldings in Liberia, some of the national issues that we had to discuss this morning. Let's go over to Sikwipo Ines from Grand to Bassa County. In this will bring us up to speed, linking this development that 23,000 water for drug was arrested on yesterday in Grand to Bassa County. Hope sick people can actually talk to us this morning. Yes, he followed that development on yesterday. Sick people, good morning. How are you? I hope you're doing well this morning. Sick people, good morning, sick people. How is Buchanan going to Bassa?
Well, Grand Bassa County is straight this morning. Grand Bassa County is straight this morning, and people are going about their normal activities. We all know about the situation that occurred yesterday in the county where the joint security of Grand Bassa County arrested very huge quantity of marijuana yesterday around the Big Fountain Town area in Grand Bassa County. That's the latest news in the county here this morning.
Was the arrest made linking tip off, or the joint security usually move around, with the exception of the killing that went on in Grand Bassa a week ago, where they had to raid criminal hideouts in Grand Bassa, Buchanan to be precise. Bring us up to speed. What actually happened? How did the operation go?
Well, as you may be aware, in Grand Bazaar, the joint security, the guys are now working together as team. The police and that about the drug enforcement agency, as a detachment, they all are working together as team. So yesterday there was a tip off from some community dwellers here about a very huge quantity of drugs that enter the county. So they need to check around the Frontier Town area, and they directed them exactly the yard they go into to see what they are talking about exactly. So
Okay.
they joined security yesterday. They went there and they arrested two persons in connection to this. Though they are renters in the house, we have 5 rooms in the house. They have 5 renters in the house. So they are renters in the house. Only two persons were arrested yesterday, a lady and that a man. And the both of them, they told the police that they don't know anything about the transaction. They are renters in the house. They only wake up in the morning and saw the bags in front of the house, but they don't know who are those involved into such in the yard. And we even asked them, are you also, for the past time, have you been observing anything, people taking in dogs in this area? And they said no. It is our first time to even come across such huge and the quantity of drugs. But they allege that one of the renters in the house, most often, its activity you not see around only in the night hours. You see come on some friends. So they allege it should also be arrested and investigated. So the police still in search of him. They are not arrested him yet. But the quantity of drugs arrested is about to the 3,000 United States dollars drugs arrested yesterday.
So, where are the two persons who were arrested on yesterday?
They are personally in police custody and they are still in search of the other renters in the yard.
What have you gathered so far from the joint security?
But according to them, they are working in line with the community dwellers. All they need for them is to just give them tip off. They will not call the name of those people who gave the information, but will go exactly to where the pointed fingers are and they'll go and check or maybe to search that yard. So now what they are currently doing, majority of them, because the police and the DA working together. So most often you will not see the DA moving because DA, they know majority of the DA officers. So you always see police in their clothes. They will not be in their security clothes now, but dress up normally. They move in the community to interact with the people to know some of those areas that the people are keeping the drugs, the bomb. Now, the drone security, they are surprised. How come this drugs, the huge quantity of drugs, but what means they enter the county? That's our concern now. They want to know where it really came from, where they passed to bring in the county.
What are citizens in Bassa saying? This drug law was amended. Your representative, Thomas Goshua from District 5, has been very instrumental in making sure that this drug law is at a level where those who will be arrested can face the law. And now, what are they saying since the amendment of this drug law? Though the president is still waiting on the president to sign and make it very proactive.
Well, when the first time when they got the information, but they were also saying that they should not machine that children. Those kids, they are looking up to take over this country. So now, they are only calling on, the last time I spoke with them, and were calling on the president to be very fast in signing laws so that those people who will be in the habit, of bringing drugs in the country, even those who would have it of selling it, that's what they can also be arrested. Because for the past time, even when they came take up to the police or the joint security, when those guys are arrested after 1 or 2 days, you see them back in the community. That's the issue they've been raising. They go, why we will keep giving the joint security information, and after 2 or 3 days when those guys are arrested, you will still see them in the same community sending drugs to the future leaders.
Okay. Okay, thanks for joining us. Hope you can make some rounds. You get back to us, hopefully before 1 o'clock, as to whether the person who is on the run, whether he will be arrested on today.
Okay, from there, I'll be going to the office of the Joint Security Police to also find out from them how far we with this issue of the arrest.
Thank you. Sick people in this indeed is our Grand Bassa County correspondent. He's from Buchanan, Grand Bassa. You listen to him. The arrest was made on yesterday, but those who are in police custody are saying, hey, we don't know exactly where that huge quantity of drug is coming from, though it was found right in front of their house as the house owner, but they don't know exactly where is it coming from. So you can follow us, share the live this morning. It's great to be here. Like I said, I want to acknowledge those of you watching this morning. We have Maki Parker says good morning, Nisek, and good morning to the peace loving people of Mama Liberia. Thanks for joining us. He says, I'm watching from the Tokich Republic. Okay, so that's good. Thanks for joining us, Parker. George G. Saki Jr. He says, good morning, Voice of Liberia. I'm watching from the most talked about. Join That's John Sylvester Ali's Avenue in the Basatine Do community. Thanks for joining us. Ansu Coleman comes in, says, I'm following. Is it from Clay, Bombing County? George Watkins Jr., the Honorable, says, good morning, Voice of Liberia. And a pleasant good morning to the peace loving people of Rivers County, the land of supremacy. Thanks for the show. I'm following live from the free part of Monrovia this morning. Thanks for joining us, George. And the rest of the folks, thanks for joining us as well. All you need to do, share the live, invite somebody. Yes, indeed. Let's further the conversation this morning. Too many things to talk about. Like I said, at 8:45, Representative Guan of District 1, Grand Digita County will be our guest this morning. We'll talk more about his activities at the National Legislature, followed by his activities as well in his district. Is it that he will be going for re-elections in 2023? We will also look at that as well. And thankfully, his chief of staff is here. He's currently on base. Yes, indeed, he is at the headquarters. Mr. Clark is in our studio. He will be here this morning as well. But it's great to be here. 7 minutes up. That's 3 minutes up to 8. Okay, so we move over to this. There was a release done on yesterday from the Ministry of Finance, and we will read that release for you this morning, and you're going to listen, and you're going to have your say. Okay, so I don't want to be the judge this morning, right? I don't want to be the judge this morning. Those of you listening will definitely be the judge, linking what is within the release from the Ministry of Finance. Okay, so let me just get to that release. 3 minutes up to 8. Let me just get to that release this morning. Okay, so like I said this morning, the issue of our Liberian diplomats that went over to South Korea for the IMO uh, meeting, and they were alleged of being involved into sexual activities in that part of the world. I'm told that case, that trial or that hearing will begin today, Wednesday, in South Korea. And those of you who've been following that particular thing sparked out mixed views in Liberia, but or is set now. But the maritime authority informed us that since the incident occurred, they have engaged the government of South Korea. They have had some meetings upon meetings, uh, linking or stating the importance of maybe hindering it the right way, but the parents of those who are involved, and that of the government. You know, there are certain things we can take lightly in this country. In other countries, the people don't really see it to be something that should be taken lightly, right? The issue of rape in our country is something. The issue of drug in our country, where the legislature, right, the House of Representatives, the Liberian Senate, the senators and the representatives have gone to work, and they have passed that, and they're looking up to the president to sign. The last time Representative Ellen Arthur Ray was here, she stressed the importance of that law, of that the amendment of that particular law, and it is important because if you check around Liberia, before the issue of drug thing, the issue of drug in our country was normally done or done in the urban areas, in the urban area in our country, but it has been extended to the rural parts. And sometimes you listen to those from the DEA, they will always tell you the issue of financial constraint, logistic is important. They don't have the logistical support to operate as an institution. So, and one of the areas they normally used to talk about is the issue of the weak drug lord in our country. So other countries, they don't take it lightly. So for us in Liberia, there are things that we don't attach with seriousness. So as you go in other country and then you violate the laws of other country, indeed you will be dealt with. So that issue is on, and you know it is important that we talk about it. But before I can get to the release from the Ministry of Finance, I have the release in my possession this morning. Yes, I have the release in my possession this morning, and we will read out that report, that release for you this morning. For your own good, it's important that we do it. But let me speak to this issue from the John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital. Fellow Liberians, it is very frustrating that after so many years, Liberia's referral hospital, the nation's referral hospital, is still lacking of system. There are things that we are to prioritize in this country. We continue to renege on it, thinking that it is not important, knowing fully well that it is important to the growth of this country. We said on this very radio that some things that we are still talking about in this modern time, we'll talk about electricity, we'll talk about water, we'll talk about latrine facilities, and the lack of system. These things that are still going on in our society. And we are left with no option but to say the health ministry, when we talk about corruption, corruption, the health ministry is one of the institutions that corruption is practiced to the largest extent. Those of you who have visited the JFK, you know exactly what we're talking about. You cannot have a country that is still struggling in rebuilding the system, and then they're telling us that measures from 2005 up to 2022, there are people whose minds are not made up in serving, in making sure that what they sign up for is done on the basis of trust, commitment in this current day reality, the current day Liberia. You got people who are in systems that they only care for themselves, but they don't care for people they serve. Starting from those in authority, the bureaucracy. What more about people who in other positions like the directors, managers, and you name the rest, supervisors, those in government circle, the governing space of our country. They are not sincere. They are not patriotic. They don't have love for this country. They sign out to a profession that they have considered to be a money making profession instead of doing the right thing that they sign up for. Even when doing the launch, we always make reference to the launch of the Basi tenure in Liberia. When Madam Banks said that the issue of corruption is on the increase in Liberia and we needed to tackle it as citizens of this country. Every time we say, when we talk about corruption in Liberia, we always refer to those in authority, those in government. But do you know that even the ordinary citizens are our own problems in this country? And they are one of the reasons why Liberia, being the oldest African country, it can progress in terms of development, in terms of system. Everything in Liberia seems to be messed up. Sometimes we want to test what we do in Liberia, but do we have the system that whenever it goes off hand, that we can maintain? Linking institutions, independent institutions can come in and maintain in order for what we think we want to test, maybe, like say, our democracy or some of the system that some of the measures that people have instituted, like they continue to talk about in our country. Other West African countries, the people have system that even if something goes off hand, they can return to status quo, settle it, and then they move on. Liberia is a practical example of a don't care country. We can be corrupt to the extent till we continue to steal from the ordinary people. So each time we talk about corruption, our hearts will go to our thoughts, our understanding will go to government officials, because normally they use the term embezzlement. And then when the common people steal, you say they steal, right? It is not corruption, they steal. But do you know there are people within various institutions that we expect to be mature, we expect to be independent? They continue to undermine the growth of this country. John F. Kennedy is one of the institutions, fellow Liberians. That place is lack of system. And all of the measures from 2005, the government has instituted at that particular institution, things are still messed up. If you leave from here today and go at JFK, if you interacted maybe during the morning hours, or maybe you were referred to, somebody to go and solve your problem, and then maybe you bother with one of the nurses or one of the practitioners at that particular area, and then they say go to the other place and go and do your payment, you got to be very careful. The experiences are bad, and it shouldn't be happening. You got to be careful. Where on earth someone is having an emergency, and then the person went to your cashier, you told the person to do payments, different payments. Lot, you say you got lab, different lab that the person needs to go through. You decided to charge the person did the payment, you gave the person receipt, and at the end you result in the morning hours for the person to get access to the facility to go do the lab. You threaten the person that the person you paid the money to is not around. In fact, this receipt is not valid and it doesn't qualify you in any way to go for the lab we're talking about. Fast forward, telling the person on the other hand that in fact you said you pay for the lab, but this particular thing is not being offered in this hospital. The electric lab is not being offered in this hospital. You need to go outside, get the lab result when the person have already paid the money. So it tells that they are crooks or in the system that they don't get time. The health sector in our country, like we continue to say, that every time we'll crowd on those that craft the budget to improve what is within the health sector, but there are people who continue to embarrass the system. You go at JFK and other medical centers around the country, most especially JFK, when you go there are bags available, hospital bags. They're there. But then someone will look in your face and tell you that the bags here are all being occupied. This is reality. This is reality. The bags here are all being occupied, and you have to wait for the next 2-3 hours. When someone is being discharged, then we can take you. When you are just an ordinary person, just expect your patient to wait for the next 2-3 hours when he or she has been taken to the hospital, because no attention. Yeah, so let's say you can say that. Yeah. So there will be no attention shown, right, to that patient. Where are we in this country? The issue of system is lacking. So we'll talk about corruption. So whenever you are attached, or maybe you someone a big man in the society, you go at the JFK, maybe you took your patient there. That's when, and once you are recognized, that's when they were attached that respect, and they said no bag was available. That's when you see them running here and there, making bags available for your patient to go. It is wrong. It doesn't sound well in our society. These things are not just good. Looking at Liberia as a country being the odious in Africa. Every time we talk about people being corrupt in the system. So when you are not important, when you don't have no space in society, no one regards you. Obviously, yes. No one cares. So the guys at JFK, they need to put they really need to institute the right measures, or else that place will be one of the areas that people will just go and people will no longer trust in our country because they have already damaged the entire system. So as people will go there, nothing will happen. You just be there. At the end result, you get vexed, you take your patient, and then you move. And the ordinary people will suffer. So I'm just sending this message out to the authority at the JFK. Our guest is in studio. We will start our conversation. It's important. Yes, indeed, we will start our conversation. So let's get to this issue of the Ministry of Finance. There is this release from the Ministry of Finance linking the stable health condition of the Minister of Finance, Samuel Twe. Let's actually go to it, and then we take your calls, and then we'll get over to our guest this morning. It's great to be here. This is Good Morning Liberia. November 29, Monrovia, 2022. This is a release now, so we move from. They say in the wake of the tragic accident involving Finance Minister Samuel D. Twe Jr., his wife, Madame Delicious Twe, the driver and security officer, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning is pleased to inform the general public that Minister Twe and everyone involved in the accident are stable and responding to treatment. According to a press release from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the incident occurred on Sunday, November 27, 2022, while en route from Lofa County after attending the graduation ceremony of the Lofa County Community College, where he served as commencement speaker. The emergency rescue team immediately rushed then or to the Phoebe Hospital in Bon County, where emergency treatment were applied on Dan before transporting Dan to the John F. Kennedy Medical Center for additional medical assessment and treatment. Based on the medical report of doctors at the John F. Kennedy Medical Center, Minister Twe and his wife were advised to travel out of Liberia for further medical treatment. He and his wife traveled as passengers on Monday, November 28th via Aska Airline to Ghana before boarding another commercial flight for Turkey. Okay, so you listen to that. The minister is out of Liberia. The minister is out of Liberia. Okay, they said doctors at the John F. Kennedy also assessed the medical conditions and injuries of the driver and security officer and found them to be more stable in comparison to the minister and his wife. The medical team provided medication to the driver and security officer and asked them to return on Wednesday, November 30th, 2022, for additional checkups to make a decision in advance in medical checkup and treatment outside of Liberia. This particular one is not easy. So when the incident occurred, according to the guys were taken at the Phoebe Hospital in Bon County, and later they were rushed at the John F. Kennedy Hospital, and then doctors advised the minister and his wife to seek further treatment outside of Liberia. And moving forward, they had to go to Turkey. They bought another commercial flight to Turkey. So it is to our understanding that the driver and the security of Minister Twe are in Liberia and they're taking treatment in Liberia. They were told to return home and returned on today, the 30th of November. The 30th of November for further medical treatment. What runs to mind if such a release is coming from the Ministry of Finance, linking that the finance minister uh, is out of the country, yes, quote unquote, for advanced medical treatment, and you have the driver and the security of Minister Tour in country. They're saying that the people had to go back today. So when they go there, anything the guys will say, most especially from the hospital, the doctors, then when the condition is not too good, they will be flown out of Liberia for further medical treatment. What are they saying? So it reads as a pending the final decision of the medical team at JFK for the driver and security officer, the Ministry of Finance will underwrite the full travel and medical costs of both the driver and security officer out of Liberia for additional advanced treatment. So till the driver, the doctors at the John F. Kennedy Hospital can tell us, uh, it can tell us they state of the guys from the, let's say, the driver, the health condition of the driver, and that of and the security officer or the security assigned to Minister Toy, whether it is in they are in bad condition. That's the only way. That's the only way, indeed, they will be flown out of Liberia. What are they saying? So it tells that the guys are in stable health condition, aside from Minister Tour and his wife, who were flown out of Liberia for advanced treatment. Liberia is very interesting. Liberia is very interesting. That's it for you. Like I said, I don't want to be the judge this morning. Our guest is in studio. We'll take two calls on this, 2 to 3 calls on this discussion. And then we welcome Harris on the show this morning. And then we get the ball rolling up to 10 o'clock this morning. Representative Guan is our prime guest on the show. 0770 907 907 0880 907. This person on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Thank you, my brother. My name is Tokwa Junior. I call you this morning from the office of the Intellectual Class of the Committee. Well, let me appreciate you for your previous discussion, as it relates to those health practitioners, just their attitudes. But then I call in quickly to wish the finance minister and his security guys, his wife, it gets well, treat. I hope wherever they are, that God will bring their health so that the finance minister can get back on his feet, because the country depends on him. The economy is resting solely and wholly on his shoulder, and we cannot be thinking of his deputy. We need him to get back on his feet. Thank you very much for holding me the time.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the beauty of democracy. We are for everyone the opportunity to have, as they say. It's on Good Morning Liberia 077. Oh, my word. 07 will have another call coming in. Yeah, this person. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah. Good morning, my name is Mr. Weir. I'm calling from your community.
Dogo minute. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just before I go on radio, I want to hear the minister, his name, the man, his wife, with his travel, his daughter, everybody for help. I'm sorry the country, all everybody to say, yeah, everybody's sorry for him. They play him when they play him go. Let him be peaceful, let him be calm to come out soon. Everything will be safe to mind.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. 0770907. This person on line 2. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Let's hear you. What's your name?
My name is Isa. I don't want for us. First of all, let me appreciate you for the topic on the discussion. I don't want for us to politicize Mr. Towen and now the wife and the driver incident I will call it on local house.
You and who politicizing something here? Just have yourself better.
Okay. The accident occurred that the medical report can tell you where to go and how to stay. So maybe those people will take up while they flew with them and the driver and the security officer, maybe they have minor issue that was they're trying to stable that in JFK. So I don't want for all the police. Thank you very much.
0770907. This person. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, well, you have to dress away from your receiver. We need not to Be telling you this over and over and again. But we were here this morning. Coming up very shortly, we take our guest on the show. We'll take your calls now 0770 0880 The lines are blinking. This one, this person. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you, fellow. My name is Encho. And I'm calling from our resident here in Tupo, Sabata.
Duput Row. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me answer to all listeners. But let me say this. The issue about this for me, I now one of the questions I bring for 25 to him. I wish him well. But let me say this direct. That's why sometimes we have to improve our health system in the country. If our woman, colleague, or mom, or way in or Greco County or somewhere in Grand Bassa, serious measure as they take her to JFK or they take him to JFK and they say, well, I mean, they think that be done here. We're going to provide our each and every person because of the country. They have to say no. The minister and the government official and they have control over the country resources. So
okay, my brother. Thanks for joining us. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. So you're out. So let's talk to another person.
I'm talking to another person.
So, but will you can go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So the I want to say a recommendation is that make sure that all they be auto tape, the GSK, the national, the military, let be auto tape. People that have money to fly all the country to go up to get a vacuum. I don't know why it's all over there. All the security applicants for the help from the official.
The driver and the security are in country. This person. Good morning. Let's hear you.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Good morning.
My brother Liberia is just graduating from mess to messes. Sorry for that. Because that poor driver who's driving for that minister, I hope that he's employed too. So he need to give attention as the so-called man is giving attention.
No, he's a minister. Wow. Let's attach the respect. Let's attach. He's not a so-called person. No, he's not a so-called person. He occupies one of the hottest. I wouldn't take that from you. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead. Yeah, take your word back. He's not a so-called. He is a minister. He's one of the senior government officials in this country. Okay. So let's attach that respect. Okay. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
I'm sorry. It caused me no as a Liberian.
Sometimes let's manage. Yeah. Go ahead.
We are always treated by our bosses. We are all Liberians. Of course, I am not blessed to have that position of which this man is occupying. But God placed it in a way that we should work in line with them, that we ourselves should sustain ourselves. And when such critical things happen to the driver, why should the driver be treated in this manner?
Okay, thank you.
Why should the driver be treated in this manner?
Thank you.
So I'm asking the ministry there to see reason to help this driver too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for joining us. So I think the release is very clear. The Ministry of Finance made us to understand that the guys will be going back to the hospital today. Today is the 30th of November. They will be going back to the hospital. And any advice from the doctors, maybe to seek further treatment, the security and the driver will be flown out of Liberia. But as it stands, so they have made us to understand that the minister case is critical. So they have to, take them out of the country. This person, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
I'm Mr. Stevens. I'm calling from Belgium.
Is that your name?
Mr. Stevens. I'm calling from Belgium.
Okay, let's hear you. Go ahead.
I sympathize with Mr. Pue for the misfortune that has happened to him. But my concern is that people don't see what is going on. What if we were going to put bomb into JFK? We have cause to fly Mr. Pue out of here.
Come again?
What if we were to pump money into pay? We have had calls to fly Mr. Square on PM. So the next thing is, what if such a situation would have happened to somebody like you or somebody like Marlopu or somebody like Mr. Flomo? What exactly would have happened to the person, to that citizen? They would have been a dead person. So let us try to look into these things and see how well we can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. So we take two calls to call it a day as our guys are doing the setup this morning on the show. This present is on line 5. Good morning. Let's hear you. What's your name? Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Let's hear you. What's your name? Go ahead.
My name is Mr. Situ. It is less than Situ. I'm calling from Nuclear Town.
Nuclear Town. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say to both of the people who are involved in the accident, but my concern is about the treatment, the report from the hospital for both of the people that have. When they let them give it also, we'll see why the other people are living, other people are already talking. I want to know what kind of report they gave, like maybe other people to be here and other people here talking now. I want to have a report.
Okay.
Let them that public. I want to know the report.
Okay, all right. So you want to know the report. So Liberia is very interesting. 0770907907 0880907907 are the numbers. And you will be live on Good Morning Liberia. You follow us on YouTube, Voice of Liberia, on Facebook, Voice of Liberia Television. You follow us also on www.voiceofliberiaonline.com. Indeed, you will follow the broadcast this morning on 104.1 FM. So this person is on line 3. This should be our last caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm okay. What's your name?
Yeah, I'm J.D. Bachi calling from Ghana, sir.
Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, for the discussion, so I just want to take this time to wish the honorable minister, his wife, and those who are involved to the recovery. With regards to the message that came, the first release that you read, it's a specific plan. Owing to the accident issue, if you look at the doctor's report, you realize that what happened to Mr. Chen is why it's grave, then what happened to the driver and the security. So based on that, they were able to make an informed judgment, right? That the minister and his wife should be thrown out of the country, and the two other guys, the security and the driver stay.